G'day guys, today I found myself down in Maryborough at Teddington Weir at Intanana, and as the title suggests, we're going to be out here chasing a few bass. Now it's been a long time since I've caught a bass, and I've even caught them here before, but not since I was a teenager, and I don't know if you can tell, but that was a good 10 years ago now. Now before we get into this video too much, can you just do me a favour and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel? Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under the same name if you want to suggest anywhere I should check out. Cheers guys. Also joining me today is Jesse from Jester Hikes. It's in the top right hand corner there if you're wondering on the spelling. You look him up on YouTube and Instagram as well. Alright guys, normally fishing off this roadway here is pretty good and produces some good bass in the previous times I've been out here. But the water's looking a little bit low today. They haven't had rain here for a bit. So we're going to walk down this old track that I remember from years ago and see if the situation's any better down there. Alright, let's go. Now this track is super overgrown. Probably not best to tackle it with thongs on, but you know, we're out here, so we'll give it a go. Once upon a time you're actually able to drive down here, but that's not been the case in a long time. Here's the old forestry gate that's locked, but yeah, even when I was out here 10 years ago it wasn't accessible then, so it's definitely a rough track now. Now there's a few nice little water accesses along this track that'd be perfect for flicking a lure and chasing some bass. But from my memory, the best we did was walking right to the end of this track, and then there's a little inlet that runs into the left. Now we're going to go down and try and find that, because I know I've caught bass there before, be it 10 years ago, but I know there was some there then, so why not start there and then fish our way back as the afternoon progresses. Today we're going to be using a combo of hard and soft plastics, have a bit of a flick for these fish. We're not running any bait today. We'll just see how we go with this. I wouldn't mind coming back out and giving it a go with some bait, but at the moment we don't have the gear with us. Now I don't know if you can hear him, but we were speculating then on what that animal was. There was definitely something running through the bush. Whether it was a turkey or not, we're still not sure. But there's a sign for pig and roos and stuff out here as well, so you just never know. This is another amazing little fishing spot we've spotted here, and we'll definitely be stopping in and checking that out on the way back home. We can already see a little bit of fish moving out there, but we've got our mission. We're heading in as far as we can. Feels a bit like a scene out of Jurassic Park.
It doesn't it?
Now we're hoping with the sheer difficulty level there is to get into this place, there'll be a few fish getting around and we'll have a bit of fun for the afternoon. But then again, you never know. Now finally the scrub starts to ease up a little bit, so we can get a view of Tanana Creek again. And just up ahead is the tributary I'm talking about, where it runs off to the left. Here it is here. Now I've caught fish here before, and I've seen other people catch fish here before. So this is where we're going to set up for the first session in the afternoon, and hopefully see a couple of bass ourselves. Now Australian bass like to sit right in deep in the snags, in undercut banks, and anything that gives them a little bit of cover. They are predatory fish, so they're going to be looking to ambush smaller fish that swim past, maybe lobbies, anything like that they're going to be able to get their hands on. So I'm still running that Zurich fish trap I got the flathead on last weekend, and I'm just going to run in and see if it's any good in the freshwater here. I suspect it'll be pretty good everywhere. Jesse's running a popper, but the temperature's still pretty high, so I think the fish will be lower down in the water. Now the issue I'm having is these Zurich fish traps are nice and weighty. And the trick is to keep them down near the bottom where the fish are, but not quite on the bottom, because you just pull up that much leaf litter and get stuck in the snags. Jesse thought he might try a jig head with a soft plastic, but he's having the same issues I've been having with the fish trap. Now I'm only running 10-pound braid, so when I throw that fish trap in the tree, that's not going to be strong enough to break the branch. So I've had to rig something up. This is what I've gone with. It's a bit of 80-pound leader, a sinker, and a jig head. So the plan is throw that in the tree, try and hook the lure or the branch or something, and try and bend it down enough to get it back. But you know, a bit of a shot in the dark, but for that sort of money lure, I'm going to try and get it back. Now it's pretty stoked to get that lure back, but that doesn't mean I'm about to stop using it. Now Jesse switched over to about a 3-inch deep diver with some bright colours on it, pretty similar to the Fat Betty fish trap I'm using. Let's see if he has any more luck with that. Fishing has been incredibly slow out here, and from what I remember, it was always pretty slow. Some days they'd be on, some days you get nothing. We're hoping as the afternoon drags on a little bit and it gets a bit darker, we might get a few hit-ups. Alright guys, there's a beautiful example of one of the bass caught here at Teddington Weir. He's caught right down the end. Ooh. Better get this boy back into water. Alright, let's see if we can get a couple more. Now we fished that inlet for a little bit longer, but just didn't seem like there was going to be any more action over there. Maybe he was the only fish, maybe he wasn't. We decided to start slowly heading back and fish down the main estuary here of the Tanana Creek. Now I've heard of people getting out here on kayaks, and I think that's exactly what you need to explore a place like this properly and really get into the fishing as much as you can. Under these low hanging trees we could actually see bass hitting stuff on the surface, insects or smaller fish, I don't know what they were, but you could see them actually gulping a little bit like barramundi. So we decided we're going to get under here and just flick around a little bit, see if we can get their attention. At the moment I'm running a 2-inch deep diver because unfortunately I've already lost the first Fat Betty. That means I'm down to 5. I've got 2 more in this size and 3 in the size up. We'll keep a countdown and we'll just see how many fish we can catch on these. But yeah, sadly I am one down. I got the bass before I lost it, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, down to 5. And Jesse's managed to find a way out onto this rock sheet, so I'm going to head out there with him. The water's a little bit shallow with a few deep holes. It seems like a perfect spot to catch some bass, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now there's plenty of action out here, it just doesn't seem to be happening with our lures. You can see fish hitting stuff up on the surface all over the place. I've seen Jesse even had a few follows in, almost to the bang. Just didn't manage to take that lure or set those hooks. Now just like at Middle Creek, the scrub turkeys have found us and found our gear, and I've got to go and chase them off because I'm a bit worried they're going to nick a couple of me lures. Now I've never actually fished out here when the water's been this low. I've always sort of come out when it's either been running or just not quite running over the wall. But yeah, it's definitely low. I've never been able to get out of these rocks before, and it's really interesting to see. And I've gained a lot of knowledge for coming out here next time the water's a little bit higher. Now I've read online that these fish become very active at night time, but we didn't bring any torches or anything out, so we're not really prepared. So, you know, it's time we pack our gear up and start heading back. And I'm glad we didn't leave it any later. It's getting pretty dark to find our way back through the scrub, but we did make it in the end. Not a bad day fishing. I mean, we did catch a fish, so That was definitely a bonus, got to see a bass up close. But I'd really like to get back out here and chase them again. Maybe get a couple more, but it's just the nature of fishing, isn't it? Alright guys, I just want to say a big thanks for watching. And if you can like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be doing me a huge favour. And let me know on Facebook or Instagram, or even in the comments, if there's anywhere around better that I should be chasing some Aussie bass. Cheers guys, catch ya.